Hey, what's going on, guys? George here with APG, bringing you another APG Bronco build. This one's not a pro runner, it's a mid-runner. It's not wider, but it's still loaded with a bunch of functional upgrades. I want to take you guys through some of those upgrades. So maybe if you're looking for a bit of a narrower, trail-worthy car, but still loaded with options, this may be something for you. So let's jump into some of those details and show you how we made this Bronco a Bronco mid-runner. All right, so maybe you don't want a Bronco on 40s, maybe 37s are totally okay with you. And if you're not running through the desert or hitting such extreme trails, or you're not going for such a wide build, you know, keeping a narrow track width has its advantages in an off-road environment where you're on some narrower trails. Now, a lot of guys ask me, they want the wheel travel, they want better shock valving, they want their options, they want armor, protection, accessories, lighting, but they just don't want to widen the stance. So keep your factory original body system, run with a mid-travel suspension setup, and park your available build budget into some suspension upgrades, wheels and tires, some lighting options, some underbelly armor, some skid plates, rock sliders, whatnot. Still have something that is closer resembling like a production Bronco, just kind of enhanced. So looking into the corner of the car, you're looking at a factory original body system, sitting on a 37-inch Nitto Ridge grappler. It's got these APG KMC spec bead locks. It's got tons of functional add-ons, but again, we are still keeping that factory track width. So kind of looking at the front end of the bumper, we have our high clearance bumper corners. It allows you to fit any kind of fog pocket kit inside that original housing, but it's just a bit better clearance and has better side profiling for a larger tire. So we've got the Baja Designs fog pocket kit. We've got the XL linkable kit up on top of the bumper. That's a great light if you're looking for like a one light solution that's got good downrange beam spot and a couple of floods on the outer. This light puts out a lot of power, looks sweet. It also doesn't have a tremendous amount of wind noise as you're driving. Pair that with some XL Pros up on the A-pillar. That's gonna give you plenty of lighting for your nighttime off-road adventures. All right, guys, so you're looking through the front passenger side wheel well right now, and you're looking at our APG mid-runner suspension system. That suspension system consists of our all-billet upper control arm, which has got a 1.5-inch uniball bearing. It's got double adjuster Heims at the pivot. This upper control arm is refinished in black anodized, a little bit different than that teal blue you've seen to complement the King shocks. This is just a bit of a less loud upper control arm, but same functionality. The King coilover is sprung in valve specifically to how we like these mid-travel setup Broncos to run. You know, it's got the remote reservoirs with some compression adjusters, and again, we have them valved exactly how we like them. You know, maintaining the factory lower control arm with a lifted ride height, keeping those cams set at 0, we're able to get the alignment characteristics dialed in perfectly, so you still have proper CV axle engagement. This vehicle's got a full 74 weld, stage 3, Haas 3.0 steering rack and pinion. It's got the Ford Performance 16mm heavy duty tie rods with our own proprietary steering sleeve jam nut combo. That just strengthens the weak point on the tie rods, which is the threaded body. For a 37-inch tall tire, this is essentially a bulletproof steering system. All right, now onto the side of the car. One of the questions we get asked a lot, especially on pro runners on 40-inch tall tires, big and glorious, is, you know, if you're not 6'4" like me, how do you get in and out of the car without your little step stool? Now, the only functional rock slider that has a retractable side step is Rock Slide Engineering. Now you have the amp retractable side steps, those real truck ones. Those are super functional, they're cost effective, but they offer no support and protection when in an obstacle where you take a hit. You're gonna go right through those and you're gonna go into your pinch wheel and ruin your door frame. It's a mess. Don't do it, trust me. Rock Slide Engineering makes a good rock slider. Now I say good because personally I've seen these collapse and bust into the door, but I'm talking 6 feet off of a rock and a hit. Only rock sliders are gonna protect that are the next venture ones. But if you're a mild to medium off-road enthusiast, doing light to medium trail drives with the occasional contact hit, but you need access, easier access into the car, these Rock Slide Engineering ones are for you. You know, super easy, seamless process. You open the door. Yeah, that didn't do what it was supposed to do. Probably good to put this inside of the video because there's an override switch. So if you want to turn them off so they don't retract, whether you're maybe set up somewhere in an off-road environment and you don't want the step to retract into a rock, you can shut down the deployment. So if told you we know what we're doing. So anyhow, back to it. Just a deployable step so you can get in and get out for access. Again, still offering some good protection. A lot of intricacies of how these come together, as well as the underbody protection. We're gonna do something new on this video. We're gonna pan on to the back of the shop where we're gonna show you some of the steps of this car mid-production. All right, so we're under the hood of the car and we're doing some wire management, a bit of cleanup after getting all the hard componentry installed. You know, running at this dual piston Airby onboard air system, SDHQ has this really intricate bracket system that relocates this module and that allows you to slide this in a vertical fashion. And it's just permanently mounted, it's hardwired, hard plumbed. It doesn't interfere with any other location in the car. We actually plumb it into the car where we put a quick connect in the front bumper, another quick connect in the rear bumper, and then just get all the electrical all tidied up here under the engine bay. We split off after the outgoing, right where the supply line feeds. We tee it right here with some high temp fittings. It's just a clean install. It's not obvious, it's not in the way, serviceable, functional, gets the job done. All right guys, so looking at the rear of the car, still outfitted with tons of accessories and options. This has got the Expedition 1/APG rear heavy duty swing out bumper system, which is capable of mounting up to a 40-inch tall tire. It's got the rear winch, backup lights, it's got the RTL mini chase light. It's just outfitted with all sorts of goodies. This customer wanted a bit of a two-tone custom coloring on the car, still subtle, black and dark, but a little bit of color. So we went with that burnt root beer primary wheel with this black bead lock. To complement that burnt root beer, we kind of did our signature APG refinishing job on it with the Ford emblem two-tone with that burnt root beer with some gloss black. We also refinished that Bronco horse emblem on the rear side. Just gives it a little bit of extra pop and it looks great. One of the themes we try to deliver is we really do focus on the details. Whether it's a small suspension job or a full Pro Runner job, we focus on the details. It's like following the wheel coloring profile, refinishing the rear Bronco horse, even this rear APG logo that's on the swing out. We engineered this little carbon behind backup plate. It's got some UV protection clear coat on the exposed carbon, and then that color matched area behind the APG logo that kind of follows the theme of the accent color of the car. Now, because we kind of took the metal color out of this bracket, we took the silver out of this one, it didn't look good having this aluminum debris cover on top of the pivot cap. So pop that off, hand it off to the paint shop, and they'll also get that refinish in a color that still shows the emblem, but brings together the overall kind of black pack appeal of the car. So again, details matter when building Broncos with us. Hey guys, so a lot of people know that we've kind of pioneered the rear winch setup on the Ford Bronco, and we did that for a combination of reasons. But just to give a little bit of tech advice and install tip to anybody out there, your standard 12-volt mobile winch is, it draws quite a bit of power, and naturally you've got to run that power direct to battery. If you're running the winch in the rear of the car and you're hardwired directly to battery, if you don't have some sort of interrupt or cutoff, you've got a hot wire. Even when the car is off, you've got a hot wire running all the way to the back of the bumper, and that's always on. And we live in a world where accidents happen. We have rodents and we have situations of vibration, and you never know. And I think you should not have that much wire constantly hot at all times. So the way that we recommend you do it, which is the way that we do it, we've got an interrupt solenoid here. This is like a 400 amp interrupt solenoid that's connected to a toggle switch inside the dash. And if you're ever gonna use the rear winch, just open up that solenoid and it'll send power to the rear winch, and then you can operate the winch. The important thing is not to have a constant hot wire that heavy a gauge running to the back of the Bronco. And one of the questions we get asked a lot is, what do I need to do to run a true 37-inch off-road tire? So let me summarize this. This car is sitting on a 37-inch, 12.5 wide, 17-inch wheel. The tires is a Nitto Ridge Grappler. The wheel is a zero offset KMC beadlock wheel. We have full tire travel path within the suspension system, and this is just with our mid-travel suspension system. That MidRunner suspension system, link in bio, that will allow you to cycle this wheel and tire setup. Your lights, your bumpers, your accessories, those are all just add-ons. But if you're looking at cycling a 37-inch tall tire, source yourself a zero offset wheel with the mid-travel suspension system, and you're gonna look and run exactly like this Bronco. All right guys, and that's about it on this Bronco build. We appreciate you guys subscribing, following along. We've got tons of new content coming up in the future. Hit that subscribe button and we'll see you on the next one.